Welcome back to a brand new spoiler review of Euphoria on HBO and HBO Max. This is episode 4. We're going to break down this whole episode in spoiler fashion. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring the bell. That's how you support this channel in the best way possible. My name is Max Dinenberg. If you're new, please subscribe, ring the bell. That's how you support this channel. I do this review every single Monday, as well as TV show reviews like these, movie reviews, box office breakdown shows, and movie rankings. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell. Also, please comment down below your spoiler thoughts of the episode. This is the halfway point of season 2 of Euphoria. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are your bold predictions for the rest of season 2 here on HBO? And also, please like the video, the thumbs up button. That's how you support the channel the best way. If you're watching this right now, please click the like button. Please do so. That's how you do it. So let's talk Euphoria. So it feels like that people are liking this episode, but not as much as the other ones. And I've seen like I'm going to be in the minority who this is probably my favorite episode of the season thus far. I thought it was the best edited thing maybe ever Euphoria has done. The intensity was obviously really high, but the last 20 minutes of the episode kind of left me speechless. Now, from an editing point of view, the reason why I say that is because they basically do 3 completely different storylines kind of coinciding, edited together at the same time. It very much, for example, like A Quiet Place Part 2 did last year. The third act of that movie was basically Cillian Murphy and Millicent Simmons were in this one place. Emily Blunt was in this one place, and Noah Jupe was in the other place. And I thought this episode did a similar thing where Cal had a storyline. Maddie's birthday party was a storyline, and Rue, Elliot, and Jules was a whole other storyline. So, and they were all happening at the same time. It was so well edited that it just kept building up. And as I said, the last 20 minutes are really fantastic. So we're going to break it down by storyline. So let's start with Rue, Jules, and Elliot. So we kick off the episode with Elliot and Jules still in Elliot's room, and they start just making out. And you're like, oh my God, if Rue's watching that, whatever. Elliot says Rue's at the door. So they come up and they stop making out, obviously. So it looks like they kind of like each other, but it really does seem like that everyone kind of likes each other. It's kind of what they've been really pointing out. But we get this subplot where, Rue is also, we also got to be in the episodes that Rue, they were, Jules was doing something rated R at the beginning of the episode. And Rue was kind of fake orgasming. You can clearly tell that Rue was not being authentic with what she was doing at the beginning of this episode. So you have that going on. It's a lot of infighting, basically. And then the big part is that Elliot wants to steal some liquor. So everyone's down for it. 3 of them get in the car. They actually drive past Cal speeding. And with the help of Elliot and Jules, they get the drinks. But, Rue starts drinking, which then sets off Jules, like, why are you drinking? Like, you shouldn't be drinking. And Rue's like, just drop me off. Jules is like, why do you want to be dropped off? And he's like, I can't fight with you. I can't deal with you. And she gets dropped off at the side of the road. Elliot takes Jules back. That storyline ends for Elliot and Jules. When they take him back, Jules is like, I'll get in the shower, trying to be very flirtatious with Elliot. Start making out. Elliot's like, I got to tell you something. Rue's been doing drugs, all kinds of things. And I've been doing them, with her. And I can't keep lying to you that this is happening. So that's how that storyline ends. Rue, on the other hand, goes back home and basically has a spiritual moment in between being dead and alive, where she's hugging her father, who we know is dead. We kind of see the true meaning of her father's death and how that's really impacted her on this path that she's on now. We get this whole spiritual life dream where they're in a church, and Jules and Elliot are in there. But Labyrinth makes his first acting appearance in the show. He does the entire musical score and original music for the show, and his music and his music scores and just original music in general has been one of the more amazing parts about the show. He gets to actually be on screen. He hugs. It's a symbolism of him singing this new song, hugging Rue while Rue's hugging her dad, and it was a really beautiful scene that really shows where, again, Rue is at. does she really love Jules? She's in a place where it really is her dad that has been one of the key losses for her that has put her in this path. So we have a lot of things going where Jules is basically heartbroken that Rue is still doing drugs, and she's heartbroken that Elliot's kind of been the one helping that along. My only issue, this is my only episode with the episode, was that they made Jules feel really dumb this episode, because it was pretty obvious that Rue was clearly on something when she kept faking the orgasm in the beginning of the episode. The way she was just acting looked like she was clearly on drugs. So it did kind of make it a bit like Jules, like, you don't realize that Rue's been on drugs. Like, it just made her look a little too dumb in this episode, because Jules is a character who I didn't like the end of season 1, loved after the special episode, continued to love, and now she's back to being kind of dumb in this episode. Where it's pretty obvious Rue's on something, and I guess she might be too blind to it. Whatever, they're young, you can kind of say it, but for me, it was a little too dumb that Jules didn't really know what was going on. So that's kind of that subplot. Then we got Cal's subplot, where Cal is, we've just been over the head last week by Ashtray, and he is like drunk, high, all concussed, all of these different things. He has bandage around his head. He was laughing, clearly drunk when Nate was on the table. And he started driving like crazy. He brought back the old car that he drove in the flashback scene last week. Goes back to the same bar from his flashback 25 years before, starts remembering his old friend, which I don't think we got any closure on if that friend is alive or dead, or what happened with his friend or boyfriend, whatever it is. And he gets kicked out of the bar. He's pretty pissed off. That then sets up his big part at the end of the episode. I'll get to that actually to end this review. So let's go back to one of the biggest parts of the episode was Maddie's party, where it's Maddie's birthday party. So it's at Cassie's house with Lexi being there. Kat is there. Cassie and Lexi's mom is there, and then Nate comes over. So before this party starts, Cassie and Nate are kind of infighting, because Nate's kind of leaning towards that he's trying to get back with Maddie. And Cassie clearly does not like this whatsoever. And Cassie kind of wants to get whatever she wants, but also Nate kind of wants to get whatever he wants at the same time. It's a very comedic but dark scene where like Nate's trying to explain what blackmailing means. It was actually kind of comedic, but it was a really good acting scene between the two people. Then that sets up kind of the awkwardness of Cassie was basically building up and saying that she's going to tell Maddie, and it's just going to screw Nate over more than her. So Cassie thinks that she's just untouchable in this whole situation. So they get to Maddie's house. And it's a really emotional scene, actually. It's like not a scene itself, but like flashes of Cassie. Her present was this whole book she made of all of the pictures and all the memories with her and Maddie. And Maddie kind of cried. I was like, wow, you can really feel the friendship there. It was a really cute scene also where they were all taking the picture, and like Lexi was like hiding behind someone in the background. I thought it was very funny. But basically the whole thing is that Kat was kind of like, is Nate coming? And Cassie was kind of, and Maddie's like, of course, it's my birthday, he'll be here. Cassie kind of like looked a little off about it. And then Kat has a one-on-one with Maddie, like, like, I thought that I could have everything and this great thing happened, and I kind of feel worse about something. Really great conversation. They both say, I love you. They've been very much friends, but they really curse at each other the most of the time we see them together. So it's nice to see like a nice, cute little scene between Maddie and Kat. But this always sets up Nate coming over to the house, where everything kind of goes off the rails in general. Cassie gets super drunk, which was kind of building up throughout the party, with Lexi kind of watching her get into this place. And I can actually kind of feel that Lexi knows the Cassie, Nate, Maddie stuff, because she's just an observer, and she's really been observing, especially this episode, clearly just an observer of this episode. And she could kind of feel something was up. So Maddie and Nate's there, and all of them are back together. Again, pretty awkward and then out of nowhere, and the scene behind me is when, Maddie's talking to Nate, and Cassie just comes down in a pretty revealing bathing suit. And Kat's like, wow, that was a statement. And she goes out to the tub, and Lexi's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm just trying to swim or something. And then they all go to, and then before this happens, like Cassie's like doing the song, singing and being super drunk in this balloon area. And Nate's like, is she always like this? And Maddie's like, no, but it's kind of depressing seeing her be drunk. So they all get in the hot tub, and that's where the whole thing kind of escalates, where everyone's in the hot tub. And then Cassie drunkenly falls into Nate in the hot tub. They're all sitting down. And they ask, like, I think they asked, like, are they getting back together? And Maddie's like, no. Nate quickly said no. And Maddie has a whole rant about how quickly Nate said no. Because it seems like they both clearly want to be back together, but don't want to be. It's like a weird back and forth. Because Nate was going to leave, and Maddie's like, you got to stay. It's my birthday, whatever. So Nate, and they're all talking, and Maddie, and then Kat gets on Maddie's side. Really funny conversation, but you knew that Nate was kind of going to explode the more Maddie kept like calling him stuff. And you just know Nate was building up, and Nate kind of kept it together for the most part this episode. He really did. It was more restrained Nate episodes. And then Cassie like throws up all over everyone in the pool. They all leave basically, which then sets up the ending of the episode, which was Cal gets back from the bar after he just got kicked out. And so he gets kicked out and he comes back home. He pees all over the floor. And then his wife comes down like, you're a mess. And he just starts going off saying like, I'm a male, I'm a predator. I'm gay, but I'm also I like, you know, effing. I always say effing. I don't want to curse here on the stream, but effing guys, girls, trans people, like all these things. Calls out his other son who barely gets any screen time. And then Nate just watches. And it's one of the rare times where Nate doesn't go off, right? Nate just, I don't think has any lines of dialogue in this whole breakdown scene for Cal. And then Cal basically calling Nate a complete mistake and a complete waste of life, which was super heartbreaking. Cal gets the family picture and basically says F you to the family and leaves. And Nate was the only person in the whole scene not to say anything, which I thought was really smart writing. So Cal, I mean, this whole family is pretty messed up in general, but Cal is pretty top tier messed up. So he basically says, F you to the family, I'm out of here. One of you, my sons, can clean this crap up. After basically just calling one of his sons a total train wreck, the other a complete waste of life. So Nate's in a weird position. He's basically in a weird situation with Cassie and Maddie, but also his dad just completely effed him up this season once again, even more so, I think, than season one. So we ended basically the episode. I thought it was a fantastic episode. Yes, it's still build up and there's not maybe enough action going on, but I thought the build up to this episode where it felt like anything could have happened this episode, it was a really excellent and emotional episode that really left me speechless for the last 20 minutes. I know this is a long review. There's a lot to talk about because a lot happens on the show, but all the characters that are very much a high. This is definitely a halfway point feeling show, or if this is the halfway point of the season 2. Super excited for what happens in the last 4 episodes. Where does the Jules, Rue, Elliot friendship be at? Where does the Nate, Maddie, Cassie stuff go from here? Cassie's really just not helping her case out. All this anxiety in front of everyone, it's not really helping the situation. And Nate his dad just abandoned him, which could it be a blessing for Nate or could it be a bad thing for Nate? We shall see, but I am completely loving the show. This is actually my favorite episode of the series season thus far. I know that could be a minority opinion, but I did love the episode. So let me know your thoughts, spoiler thoughts, your predictions for the remainder of 4 more weeks, but 4 more Mondays here on the channel. We're going to break down Euphoria season 2. I also do reviews Wednesdays for Book of Boba Fett, Thursdays for Peacemaker. So please subscribe, ring the bell. I just did Ozark review as well. So subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.